Oh my goodness. Konnichiwa. Camera will be starting soon. Turning the music down so you can hear me. I'm still moving stuff around on my screens. Whew. Holy cow. This goes over here. Do. I can close that project. That is a lot of tabs open. I was doing a lot of research recently, and I don't want to get rid of any of those tabs. So they're going to get grouped and put over here. Current research. Okay, those are good to go. This is finite stream, excuse me. Financial management project goes on this screen. There you are. Only two things on that monitor. How is everyone, by the way? For anyone that feels like talking or chatting, just saying hi. Definitely don't have to rush to your keyboard or anything like that. Okay, here we go. Make that go away. Hello, and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion, and you need to change your password. Nice! Dukasoft, yes! So cool. Dukasoft's bot is in here, and he has some commands that he has added to it. Oh man, that is so cool. Good to see that you got it up and running and working. It's awesome. I love it. Well, what we have been doing, yes, please do. Feel free to use the chat from the stream for your stuff, to test out your bot, to develop your bot. I know that you are generally pretty mindful and respectful, so I have no problems with you doing that. And Dillinger, yes, I did. I was forced to change my password because my 90 days was up. And I'm talking all of my passwords, every single one of them. Change them every 90 days, don't you? Oh gosh. Anyway, moving on. We've been working on the financial management tracker application, and on Monday, what day is it? What? This thing suddenly decided that it wants to display my secondary monitor as my primary monitor. Just randomly. I didn't update it. I didn't disconnect my monitor. What are you doing? Wait. It's not switching to my other monitor. Huh? Now that's really... We're going to start the day off with an OBS. Oh no. So the most recent thing I did was updated OBS yesterday. Maybe if I just re-add a display capture. No. um, we might have to swap monitors for a while, which is going to throw me off so bad. Let me re-add the original display capture. Gosh, that's annoying. Okay, put you all the way back here. So as you can tell, I normally have my display capture on this screen so that I can check it before I actually switch to my desktop scene so that I know which display it's trying to show. And yeah. So give me a second while I switch my monitors around, make this one my main display over here. I'm not even gonna try to change my camera around to make me look like I'm looking the right way. But everyone that was on that monitor goes over to this monitor. They are not being very successful with their updates. OBS. They had the issue with the video card drivers in the most recent, or in the second most recent update, and now they have this thing that's going on that I'm assuming is because of the current update. But I'll do some research on that when I have time. Okay, where is chat? Hey chat, where'd you guys go? Go over here so I can see you easily. Damn Inception. This is what happens when you change your password too often. What? And fine onion. Okay. It would be so stupid if the display screen still... Okay, good. Display screen is fine. So now it's going to look like I am looking over there. Man, I don't want to do that. I don't know what that looks like. Hold on. What does that look like? Yeah, it looks like I'm oh my goodness. Okay, little lion. Little lion. You, and camera stuff. You. Nope, that's num nums. You. Why doesn't it? Oh, because it's locked. Okay, these guys go over to the other side. Hang out over there. Display screen goes to this side. Scrolling text. Yeah, there's no way to move it directly left. Just go left. Oh, it's making me dizzy. It's making me dizzy. Okay, that's lined up. Camera gets unlocked. And we move over here. Oh my gosh. Go over here. Okay, so at least that will look like I am conversing with you. Oh no. I'm here. Hello? Hide my background? Anyone? Thank you. All right. So I'll be looking at the code over here, which is good because it looks-ish like I'm looking in the right way. And then over here when I'm talking with you, I'll try to look in the camera more often too. All right, moving on. We're back. So, situation resolved. Good times. We were working on getting the transaction history to update as soon as we enter a new transaction record, which I think is now working. Does anyone remember? Because I sure don't. Where did we leave off on Wednesday? I have a couple of breakpoints here. Oh, and it has something to do with getting back the most recent record for that was entered on that day, even though we're comparing to strictly greater than when we're trying to get back. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's run the app so we can see it happen. We're already in server, son. Yeah, I don't know why it's having so much trouble with masking this side. Rugs. Hello, app. How are you? Okay, so for example, in deposits, or I guess we can do payments now. I think I added it. We're going to try adding a new payment for the 11th, most recent date. We're going to have a subtotal of 20.12 units. Financial units, select our account and hit submit, and there it is, showed up immediately. So here is where the issue is happening. Actually, you can already see it here. This record here is the same record as this record here. The thing is, this was the most recent. Yeah, there are no other duplicates. This was the most recent record that was populated in the transaction history grid as far as date entered. And so when I submit a new record, so if I refresh, we should only have one copy of that $20.03. Yeah. If I add a new record for any point in time, so let's say I am entering one for last month that I forgot to enter. Let's give this one a posted date. Okay, then what we will see is this record will get added here. Let me put the 30th actually, just so we can see it on its own row. This record will get added here on the 30th between these two pending items. It will have a posted date and it'll be to this place. But the other thing that we'll see is we get a second copy of this record. And there it is. 2 copies of the most recently entered record. And then the new record did populate correctly. And what we're seeing is when we do the query to the database or to the API, it's giving us back 2 records. JSON Gridge. One. Oh, yeah. Let me also grab the request details, which is a URL string. So what we're passing in is the as of date. And so we're asking for any records, any new records created after, strictly after 2023 02 15 1745 19 303. And if we look in the database, we shall see most recent record is 215, or the one right before it, 215 2023 1745 19. 1745 19. Exactly right. And so I'm filtering out in the service records where date entered is strictly greater than the passed in value. And we have inspected this value. We saw that it has date and time. So I don't get it. Is it somehow getting converted? Yeah, we're going to find that out. We're going to debug it. Like for real debug. I'm kind of like tempted. Transactions to list, paged result. I'm tempted to do another where right here, but that just doesn't make sense to have to do. So we're going to find out what this as of date is to make sure that currently it's 1745, I think, or 47. 1747 on the nose. Wow. I bet you there are 0 milliseconds with that too. Doubtful. And then we might even be able to see the actual date timestamp for the record that it's getting and find out why it's still giving us that record back. So let's try a transfer. It's been a hot minute since we've done a transfer. We're gonna see if it's broken. 01 29 2023 in the amount of my primary savings has more money than my primary checking. So we will go ahead and add money to our checking in the amount of 30.23 units. No, why are you, why? It's so odd. And I'm still displaying the account ID just to prove that I'm choosing the right accounts. Oh my gosh, this kid. Okay, so it should have completed the submit and we're now in the get for as of date 5:47 with 0 seconds. And it does have milliseconds, 0.625, and I'm asking for all transactions where the date entered is greater than that date time that has milliseconds on it. And so if I F10 until we get to the transactions query for there it is, it's the second one for a transfer, which actually we need to get to the data. That's right, I said data for transfers. So we are on a transfer. Here's paged results, which is the to listed version. Oh, it's not transfer actually. It was a payment. So we need to see the record for payment. So we get one record back for transfers because there was only one transfer that was entered on or after, specifically after the date that we passed in. And for payments, this should be linked 0, but it's not. And the reason it's not is because the transaction, because the date entered is 2/15 1747 with the milliseconds goes out to 7 total digits. I wonder if I could use ticks. So yeah, it's definitely correct because the as of date is less than the date entered by 0.0001 xxx milliseconds. Oop. Okay, so we know where the issue is, and it's that I'm not giving enough decimal places for this comparison. So what I'm looking for is in the transaction entry service on the client side. So this wouldn't be an issue if we were running server only because we're passing the exact date time to the method without needing to go through an API. But here I'm converting the as of date, or not converting, but to-stringing the as of date into this format where I only have 3-digit millisecond. So would this thing still be able to parse if I change this to ticks instead? Will it automatically turn that into date time on the receiving end? No, I know, I know. Okay, 01/28, 2023. We're paying our internet bill. This way we can keep streaming as much as we want. Wow, that is an expensive internet bill. Gouging much? No. Okay, so my guess is the format that we're trying to send to the server does not like ticks. It does not like ticks at all. Can you pay my internet bill while you're at it? So response status does not indicate success, bad request, and it's most likely because of a JSON exception could not convert from the long number that we sent to date time. So can we, in our controller, gosh, this is so dumb. We, I don't think this is a good idea. I'm not the most excited about this idea. Instead of providing the as of date, well, no, because I wanted to use this for a date range as well eventually. I was going to say, instead of providing an as of date, we provide the most recent transaction ID. And then it finds all transactions that have been entered after that one. So I guess in order to continue using this correctly without modifying the controller, which another thought that I had was to modify the controller to accept along. Thank you so very much for the follow, Code Stank. You are in the right place because my code stank. So is there a way for me to add 4 more digits to my milliseconds? Like, is it going to actually recognize this as a proper format? I don't know. So if this is your first time here, CodeStank, I am a .NET developer who is working on a side project because I am no longer able to stream my normal work, which I used to do, and I really enjoyed doing that. But we're working on a financial management tracking application, which is a full stack development. Oh, right. Full stack development project so that we can still go through the entire dev process um, from beginning to end for a solo full stack developer using good practices like source control, branching strategies, architecture, doing the design, and also routing cross, which I have not really been doing. But I do have exemplary. I have tests. I have a few tests that show that we could write tests if this was a serious application and needed to. That's terrible. That's not helpful at all. Um, what are we doing? We are trying to enter a new transaction. So I'm going to put it for 212 into. Actually, let's see if we can do a credit card payment. I don't think that I have properly coded credit card payments, but that's fine. We'll find out. So overall, this application is intended to be a way for me, because I'm going to use it after we're done with it, to track all of my financial transactions. So currently I have an Access database application. I don't know what to call it. It's an Access file that has a connection to a SQL database where all of my financial transactions are currently stored. But did you test the test? Testing the tests. I did not. But we did test the tests. We need to go one step further. Damn turtles. Um, so I currently have an Access application database thing that just has forms for me to fill out. So it's one page essentially that has a date, select who to where we're purchasing stuff from or paying money to, and then enter a whole bunch of line items. I don't even have a posted date thing on there. It's just whether it's pending or not. And then um, the account that I'm paying from. I also have a deposits tab and I also have a transfers tab. So this is essentially just a Blazor version of that Access, the application database thing, which I should have done a long time ago. Um, did I actually? Oh yeah. So one of the things that I have in that, so all of the code, that's what I'm trying to say. The code behind for that Access is in VB. And so I'm just like not even going to look at it. VBA, I should say. I'm just creating new logic from scratch because at the time I was just throwing together what worked. And now I'm trying to do this the right way. So, anyway, a transfer from one account to another means a reduction from one means using the first account to pay into the second account. Where this starts getting tricky is when you have an account that when you pay from it, the balance increases versus when you have an account that when you pay from it, the balance decreases, as well as the paying into side of things. So that's what credit card, this entire process for paying off a credit card, paying from my checking account to my credit card account is. We're taking money out of this, but we should also decrease the balance on the credit card by whatever the amount is, which is only 148 currently. Not bad. So I hit submit. The save was successful. And now here's where we are looking at our as of date to make sure that the time of day has the 7-digit milliseconds. It does. So I have confidence this is going to work. The most recent transaction type was a I don't remember. Oh, I can't even, I can't find out from here, but we'll see it. We'll see if the one, I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, it was the internet bill. It was the internet bill. So it'll be a payment. So if we get a record back for a payment entry view model from this query, which I think it just timed out, then we know that it's Baroque still. But if we don't get anything back, then we know it worked. Woohoo! So I think that bug is scorched. Here we go. We're going to test it for real now, as opposed to for fake for real. Ow, my airball. I've been having trouble talking. I've been having some serious tinnitus this morning. It is super loud. It's crazy. Okay, so let's add a new record 02/13/2023, and if we get a if we get a taco, we might be able to survive to lunch. If we get a duplicate record of this one, then we know it's still broken. But if we don't, then it's fixed. We're paying the internet bill again? Didn't we just pay it? Two. Okay. We have a new record for our internet bill, and we did not get a duplicate record for the credit card transfer from checking to credit card. I think it's good. I think it's fixed. And not only that, but I think this entire feature is complete where the transaction history grid is updating when you add a new transaction. And we tried adding one of each type, and it did add a new transaction. So we're going to call this done. We're going to check in our code. Yes, thank you, Dukasoft. Have you run into, I'm telling you, I cannot talk today. Have you run into any other snags with setting up your bot? Because I know the only thing that you really wanted to have done was authenticate to Twitch so that you can listen for chat messages and then respond to chat messages, which it looks like you've done. I want to use it. um, Nachos. Did we like fully implement this without a check-in at all? Or is this only the part where we fixed the bug? No, this is the full implementation of getting the transaction history to refresh. You have to use twitchapps.com. I don't know that one. I'll click on that in like a couple seconds. Set up transaction history refresh after submitting a new transaction. Oh, and since that is done and working, we are going to create a pull request so that our dev team can review. Fix transaction history refresh after new transaction. New transaction. I can't set myself as a reviewer, but I would pick some devs. I'm assigning it to myself. It is, wait, it is not a bug. This is a pull request. It is for project. And it is for, oh, so I know that I've been relating the issues. Pull a bug request. Yes. I know that I've been. Use the closing keyword. Closes. Oh, wow. So this is something that I haven't really done. I'm using Azure DevOps. Well, no, that's a lie. We're using GitHub Enterprise. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. We're using Azure DevOps for all of our issue tracking, work log, backlog, all of that stuff. And we're using Azure DevOps as our, or sorry, and we're using GitHub Enterprise as our repo. And we haven't mushed them. The only thing that Azure DevOps knows how to do is pull the current branch from the repo to build in the pipelines. But anyway, we are going to close number 14. And what is this format? Where do I put it? You just closes number 10. Does this go in the title? In the description, in the pull request description or commit message. Can I put closes issue? Or just has to be closes space? Or resolves, because it's not closing it. It's just going to resolve. Number 14. The end. Okay. So my reviewers, please review this for me. Make sure that all of the things that I touched won't break anything else. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh, that was clever. Wait, I'm not sure about this one. You could do this in a no. No, we'll just leave it. It's fine. Anyway, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna review this. Has no conflicts, so we will merge, and then I will switch back to main. This thing breaks everything. So far, my favorite pull request feedback has been, can we use this other library? And there hasn't been any research into that library as to whether it costs money. It's just, I heard about this thing. It sounds cool. We should use it. And so it's like, now I need to use my time researching a thing that I never wanted to use. I was already on to the next bug by the time the person was reviewing my pull request. Anyway, we're back in main. I'm gonna pull. We are updated now. I'm gonna run. And normally this is like the QA side of things where your PR has triggered a new build. That build completes, you update your Azure DevOps ticket with it's been fixed in this PR, build number this, please test why are you still acting like you are in use? And then the tester will go through and verify that for that build, everything is good to go. And typically you have, well, it depends on if you're using like GitFlow or some other branching strategy, but typically you have one branch that's usually synced up with current master, but it's dev branch, and it's one commit ahead of master, and that's what gets tested. And then that gets committed to master once everything is tested is good. I said master. You know what I mean. Anyway, so far the rest of the app still looks like it's working. I'm entering a payment transaction to wherever for however much. Taxes. Did everyone in the US do your taxes yet? I don't remember what date I put on that, but I do know that it's only sales tax. But this thing doesn't tell me the individual line items for a payment. I think it was like 120. I think it was this one. Okay, deposit. No errors so far. It's the only thing that we can get a deposit for. Regular paychecks. There it is. So far, no duplicate records. I should not have used the same amount because it's going to make it harder for me to see if any of the records got duplicated. But this record would have been duplicated if we still had the same issue. Goodbye, money. Here is 1523 and no duplicate records down here. Great. So yay, I would call that a success. We can officially close out that issue. And here you can see the pull request was automatically added to the issue just by putting the words close. I put closes, huh? I still ended up putting closes. Nope, resolved. Okay. So I put the word resolved and it showed up here. That's pretty freaking cool. Tested and working as expected. Oh, and it is closed. So even though I put resolved, it did close the issue, which I don't want it to do. I only want it to close after we have tested. But that's okay. We're done. We can pick up the next issue. Before I do that, let's have an aside, shall we? Because I am really, really, really disliking WPF so much at the moment, I would like to spend some time when I'm not actively breaking my brain. Oh, yes, and I will drink water. Thank you so very much, Dukasoft. My lips are super duper dry, especially today. It seems a bit more dry than usual. So for my work project, I should be used to doing this by now. For my work project, I have a WPF app. We will do finanman.wpf. Yes, yes, he is. Don't do WPF. It's a curse. Try Flutter if you can. I can't change the project type that we're using for the company that I'm working for, or I guess the client that I'm working for. I have to work with the constraints that they gave me. I will go ahead and create a .NET 7 though project, even though there's .NET 6, but we're upgrading. The good thing is that we are using Blazor Web View control. So all of the UI that I'm working on is Blazor. Oh yes, and hello, kakadu banana na banana na. 1, 2, 3. I was too busy agreeing with you to say hello. But we're going to go ahead and set up this WPF project to use the Blazor components that we've created. So all I need is a reference to the Blazor UI project. I need this thing to be .razor, .razors, because we're going to be cutting ourselves. What? Oh my gosh. That's terrible. Don't talk like that. Don't even joke about that. That's just wrong. Um, there are some extra things that I need that I'm just going to steal from my proof of concept for when I was adding the Blazor components, which is going to be this one here. Actually, I should use the new customizable window one, since that's what we are going to be recreating anyway. Okay, so there are just a few things that I can never remember what to add to the project, CS proj, when you're going to use Blazor Web View in a WPF app. Okay, so this is going to go here. Sumimasen. There. This window is super tall. So the monitor that I am developing on is a 4K monitor, and sometimes I have to move some of the windows over to a laptop screen. It's not very easy to do. All right, show me the CS project, please. Okay, we're using .NET 7 Windows, nullable enabled, use WPF. Oh yeah, I guess the only thing that you really need to do is change the SDK to SDK.razor in CS proj, then a couple of setup steps in app.xaml, pretty sure. Oh wait, oh wait, this project doesn't have the Blazor Web View control in it yet. So what I meant was, ooh, thank you so much for the follow. Wait, for the resub, Thindle. Why did I make, why don't I have a different sound for sub versus follow? Wait, there's a wonderful human that's streaming and I've missed the first hour. I didn't miss your stream at all. I was there the whole time just a lurking. But then I had a meeting and just so much stuff. So much stuff. But yeah, if you guys don't know Thindle, Thindle is a fantastic developer who created an extension that I use quite a bit called Does It Blend? No, don't dox yourself. And so what this thing does is, let's say that I open my secrets on stream, on camera. It does this nice little masking for me that hides all of the values from my key value pairs. It works with Ow. It works with JSON, with XML, and you know. But yeah, if you want to find it, just head on over to either the Visual Studio Market, or in Visual Studio, go to Extensions, Manage Extensions, and type in no docs with two X's because he's cool, and you'll find it right there. He also has it as open source on his GitHub too. Thank you, Dukasoft, for putting that out there. Well, but yeah, he's also a streamer. He streams on occasion. It's been more often lately. So feel free to head on over to his channel, give him a follow, or, or you can just, yeah, I think you talked about that one. Click on the little, you have to wait 8 minutes. If you saw it earlier, um, click on the heart from the shout out that Dukasoft gave earlier and stuff. And if you missed it, then there should be a shout out command or shout out message in the chat where you can click on his name or just click on his name. Dude, plenty of ways to get to him. Anyway, we are trying to set up the Blazor Web View control in our brand new WPF app. Excuse me. Okay, so is there anything that we need to add to... Yes, we need the actual package, duh, for the Blazor Web View component. So if you want to add Blazor to your existing WPF application, then all you should needs to do is change your targeted SDK, your project's SDK, to sdk.razor, and add a package reference, item group, to ASP.NET Core Components WebView WPF. But this one is the .NET 6 version, so I'm going to update it using Package Manager because lazy. I'm just going to update all. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, I was going to say, is BUnit shipped in new WPF apps by default? No, no, it's not. We've added it to this project. Um, special kid. Update. Thindle is asking how I am. I am doing well. I hope you're doing fantastic as well. He says, I'm trying to rewrite the parser to be less slow. So if you weren't able to read his message earlier, he said that he got a bug report that nodocs is kind of slow. If you open JSON documents that are larger than 4 megabytes, I wonder why it's slow. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool. That's a really big speed up. So he was able to improve the speed of his XML parser to be 199% faster, something. 99% faster. I don't know. He said it in a backwards way. So it now runs in less than 1% of the time that it took it to run before. And yeah. Thank you, Stream Elements. You're a little slow there. It just told us that Thindle has subscribed for 10 months in a row. Awesome. Thanks. But yeah, step 1 is to get it working. Step 2 is to get it working well. Which is what I'm doing with this WPF thing, as a matter of fact. Okay, so we added the package reference so that we have the Blazor Web View control. If you're doing this in a brand new project or an existing project that doesn't already have a Blazor component library with, you know, your starting page and all of the information that you need in order for your app to run, then you would go ahead and set up a, I hate saying it that way, Then you could set up a www root folder, put an index.html file in there, and or actually you have to do that anyway. Oh my gosh. I know what I'm doing. Index.html file will populate its contents so that it will use the framework bootstrapper. Any of you guys weird? Nope. Okay, so the only thing that's going to be different for me is changing the name of the project and the references. So you just create an index.html file, structure it however you want, but as long as you have a div ID app, this is optional, but it just helps you find out when there's errors that occur. And then this line here, which is the blazor.webview.js. And that comes from that Blazor Web View NuGet package. I have this as well. It's just a helper to add to the body class dark mode when dark mode is toggled on. Thindle is step 3, make a Twitter bot to promote NoDocs. Yes. And Thindle said, as long as you don't need to read anything. Huh? I don't get it. Apparently you can post to Twitter via API for free, but reading from Twitter costs money now. Yeah, they updated the model. That's what you were getting. And my bot will run on all platforms because it just works. Coming soon, Thickdal. Okay, so we have this part set up. So now we need to add the Blazor Web View control. Yes, just change the encoding. I don't care. In main window, we will add our Blazor Web View control, which is going to come from it put it in WPF. Why would it put it in WPF? Namespace XMLNS WPF. Gosh, and it put it in a weird place too. Presentation Blazor. And we feed it the what? Starting page? I've only had to do this like 4 times. Okay, Blazor Web View host page is what it's called, which is going to be www.root /index.html. So as you can see, you can put any HTML file you want in here as your bootstrapper, but as long as it has all of the stuff needed to load the component that you're trying to load. Services. So because I'm using dependency injection, I need a way to get all of my dependency injected stuff from the WPF application into the running Blazor stuff behind it. Systems SC3. Thank you so much for the follow. So I have been working on a project called Financial Management Tracker, which you can see on my GitHub. Thank you, Dukasoft. And this is an application that we're just using to show a solo full stack developer going from beginning to end in a Blazor project, design, source control, testing, everything to do with the typical development process, just to make sure that we have a nice foundation, at least the way that I do it. But what I'm working on now is adding a WPF application that uses the same UI. We already have a Maui app because that's what I'm going to be using in the future, so that it's cross-platform. It'll run natively on Mac, iOS, Android, Windows, blah, 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 blah. Everything. Everywhere that you can run apps except Oh, even Samsung TV using Tizen. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's supposedly there. I don't need it to work on your TV. I'm tracking my finances while watching TV shows on my TV. I don't know how that would work. Um, point is, uh, my for real job, my day job, we are we have a desktop application that is a WPF app that uses Blazor for the UI. And I'm essentially just setting up the scaffolding that we have for that app because there is one major thing that I am having a lot of struggles with. And I'll show you what that is as soon as I get these services. So this is static resource services. Actually, it would be better called service provider. But for now, we'll just call it services so that I can match everything that I already have. And then we're going to have a, yeah, this thing should say Blazor. I really don't like it being called WPF. Okay. Blazor, Blazor Web View, Blazor Web View, root component, Blazor. But yeah, definitely feel free to ask any questions, talk about stuff that you're currently working on. Yeah, yeah. Blazor Web View, root component, Blazor, root component. Selector. So again, remember how I said when you create this, you create an index.html app with a div ID something. This div ID, the ID on the div could be anything you want, so long as you use it here. And the component type is going to be X type. And we will use not local because local is currently this, but our Blazor UI, XML namespace Blazor UI, which is going to be our external project, finan man Blazor UI. So Blazor UI main app. I think I called it app. Okay, there's chitter chatter, and I'm missing out. Okay. So Abaddis is here, first of all. Hello, Abaddis. I hope you're having a fantastic day. He's saying to system SC3, what kind of things are you working on? And systems SC3 says, I'm working on an exploit in Apache servers. Can't tell you too much because I don't want to introduce a 0-day exploit. So are you just trying to do it so you can report it and have them fix it? One would hope. Thindle says yes to some question. Fictal is a thing that's coming at some point. Platform equals add-on, and then it just hooks into what it wants to deal with. Not that over-engineering instead of actually getting something done. Over-engineering. I'm not 100% sure where we're going. And I think I asked a question and Thindle said yes, biggest problem is probably getting it on a store. And I can't remember what question I asked. But that's okay. It can be sideloaded on Polestar, just saying. Oh, TV. Will it work on TV? Yeah, Samsung Tizen. Systems SC3, I already read that. And Mojo Fawad is here. So sad I had to take care of some work things last minute and miss most of the stream. It was only half of the stream. We still have an hour left. And then Avidus is like, well, that's over my head. I'll wait for the automatic update. Yes. Can be anything you want as long as it's this specific thing. Dukasoft posted my YouTube channel, so just so you know, this stream will be posted to YouTube 24 hours, sometime after 24 hours after I end the stream. That's such a hard phrase. I need to come up with a better way of saying that. So when I stop my stream, I need to wait 24 hours before I can post the recording to any other platform because of affiliate stuff. It has to be Twitch exclusive for 24 hours. Blech. But anyway, after 24 hours, which it's not always exactly 24 hours, sometimes it's a couple days late, it will be up on Twitch. And all of the previous stuff on YouTube, all of the previous videos are there as well, in case you want to start from day 0. But yeah, Systems SC3 is Patch Tuesday, though I have 30 days to exploit it. And he runs Black Hat. Wow. I see. I don't know what I was saying, but I don't think this is everything. I have a lot of squigglies, and I'm not expecting squigglies to be here. Why do I have so many squigglies? It's probably because that is supposed to be this. Oh, just fail already. Okay, there we go. Root components. This should be lowercase t. All my squigglies are gone. Goodbye, squigglies. So please dereference your pointers properly. You're making it too easy for me. I only ask that out of respect. I don't manage my pointers directly. I use a managed programming language. Unmanaged? Whichever one means that I don't have to worry about allocating and pointers and yeah. Okay. 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 We're going to make this a square. Dang it, build already. Goodness griefus. The thing that we should see happen, because I'm pointing this to app from that separate Razor component library, it's my app is going to look exactly the same in Blazor, in the WPF app as it does in the web. But there's going to be some stuff that's broken. Oh, I need to do the dependency injection stuff. We're going to be square for a while. It's okay. I only pointed at everyone else. Good luck trying to figure out who exactly I'm pointing to. I'm going to grab my dependency injection stuff from here. Except that there's a different kind of setup for it. App.saml. Okay. Sumimasen. Take me to app.saml code behind. Impasta. ctor. ctor. And it already wants to help me set up my services. But that's not what I'm trying to do. So var service collection equals new service collection. This is what happens when you take a detour. You're going to get swamped in a whole bunch of stuff and not get to the place that you're trying to get to. Service collection dot add Blazor Web View. Add WPF Blazor Web View. If debug, we want the dev console to be available to us. So we will service collection add Blazor Web Development Tools. So random thing I figured out today, you can totally return a pointer to a null function. Yes, that makes sense. So if you have a pointer to a memory address and there used to be a function there and then you remove the function from the memory address but you don't dereference the pointer, makes sense to me. Okay, we need some tacos like always. Some tacos would help. We need some services and state. So we can definitely do the same state classes, I believe, that we have in our Blazor UI. So let's get those injected. Service collection dot add scoped. I look up the state, which I don't think I have interfaces from my state. I could be wrong. I do. Whoops. And we are going to provide a lookup list state from our Blazor UI. We also need our other states that I can't remember what they are, but there are two others. I something else state, transaction state, pop push a new function into it, and then my friends, that's how you get arbitrary code exceptions. But that's doing dirty x86 stuff. Nobody uses x86 architecture anymore. We're all in the new age by now. IUI state, UI state. Hey, I don't think I actually missed anything. Okay, services. I need the, gosh, this has to be server-side services. Oh, I know why my database stuff is broken in the Maui app, because I never dependency injected my DB context. Oh, that makes sense. Let's grab our database dependency injection stuff from the API. DB context, this is, which I have in an extension, and I could have just been using my flippin' extension methods to do all of this. Whatever. Maui. Blazor, financial, client services, builder.services, set up DB context, which is an extension method from shared server. Oh, that's why. So never mind. My Maui app is a client app, so I am using the API. So never mind. We're still going to be able to launch the app, and that's all that really matters. I'm just going to use the same injections. So I'll grab all of these. Back to app.xaml. To XAML. Builder.services gets replaced with service collection. You. I need a reference to shared client. So this is all of this. I don't have to do that manually. I don't need to remember all that mess. I just do add client services because I'm lazy. So where is my shared client? Yeah, WPF. And there we go. All right, so systems SC3 is still going about the exploits or the stuff that he's doing. So he's saying you would think assembly is not used, but that's your layer between the hardwares. Your layer between the hardwares layer. I can invoke a GPU call, easy. Both NVIDIA and AMD use the same pure virtual functions, like it was copy and pasted out of a book. Kind of makes sense, having a standard way of interacting with video hardware. Save. Okay, I think all of the services are added, so we need to add this now to the resource dictionary. I make this static instead. So we build the service provider, we add it to the resource dictionary for app resources dot add lowercase services, because that's the name that I'm using in the Blazor Web View control. Passing in the property that we have up there, which is set right here. And now our resources are going to be available to the Blazor portion of the application, or not yet, actually. We need to go into main window and grab those services as well, right? 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 Yes. So the place that we just added those services was to app specifically. So app.xaml is this WPF application control, and inside of it we get application resources. The cool thing about app.xaml is it's available everywhere in the application as a static variable known as just app. So when we do app dot services, oh, sorry, we need to get app as current app. Good grief. Public static app application.current. So never mind. Application is the thing that's static across the entire application, but you can cast it to app, your actual running application. And then you can get services from it. Whatever. Made sense in my head. That is dark mode stuff, so I'm not worried about that. There's no UI stuff currently. Okay, so this now should be everything needed to get all of our services available to our Blazor Web View control. And if we run the WPF app, we should see a WPF window show up with the Blazor Web View control. That's not where my issue is just yet. So I run. The non-web developer way by pushing F5. I almost hit Control F5. Yay, it's broken. No element is associated with the component one. What? What? So you didn't see it, but the window did actually pop up. It just showed up on the monitor over there. It'd be really, really nice, though, if you told me localizations, resource localization. Okay, so that's not an issue. All right, we are loading body. So it's trying to load the current page index. And there don't seem to be any issues there. And so you can see that we made it into index, like it's trying to load index. But when it's rendering this, it's telling me that there's an issue somewhere in here to do with something not rendering correctly. On initialize, there's nothing in there. That's the hero. That's the main page. Oh, there's a JavaScript call that happens at the end of index loading that probably references some elements that don't exist on the page currently. This is probably a JavaScript error. Can you show me the stack trace? No, we can't. Error has been thrown by component one. Thank you. On render complete, do we have type of component one anywhere? Anyone? Anyway, pretty sure the issue is that my HTML that I'm using for the startup doesn't have everything that it should. So we're going to use the HTML from the Maui project because that's going to be the closest one to this one. Except that I want to keep this JavaScript. Ew, did you say keep JavaScript? How dare. Okay, now let's see if it runs. Because now we should have the element needed. Progress element too. Okay, well it worked, except I didn't get all of my styling because I forgot to update the reference to the isolated styles. And that's because this should say whoopif. Whoopif. All right, try again. I can't refresh because special. Why did that print out twice, stream elements? I think stream elements might be a little bit broken. Anyway, we don't need this breakpoint anymore. And there we go. We have all of our styles now. Can we get everything loaded though? Actually, we don't need to. Okay. So if you guys recall from 800 weeks ago, I think it was 800. Might have been a little closer to 842, but whatever. We're gonna go to 1 million. His channel. Okay, so when I first started streaming after getting the new job, and I was like, I need to come up with stream ideas and stuff. We were working on this whole thing. We were trying to get the title bar in a Maui application to be customizable at runtime. And so what I mean by that is as you're using the application, I wanted to be able to change the theme and have that affect the title bar background color. A lot bit broken. What's a lot bit broken? You keep talking about things that I don't remember referencing. Show me the actual, okay, here we are. Show me an actual window. Okay, so here's a window. And here's us changing the theme. And you'll see that the theme doesn't change when we change the dropdown. But I guess this isn't showing that example. Excuse me, dude. But yeah, so the title bar color did change with everything that I did there. The problem happened. The whole reason that there are so many videos left of 2-hour sessions and me smashing my head against different places is because the way that I implemented it here only worked in Windows 11. And we need to support Windows 10 machines still. And I think the other issue that I ran into here was when you change the theme, you have to lose the focus and then get the focus back on the window so that the title bar re-renders, or whatever the terminology is for WPF stuff. I found a way around that. Yeah, only in Windows 11. And it's because I was using the new title bar. Yep, WindowChrome. I was using the new title bar API. So what I did is I went back to 2003 and I was talking with myself and I'm like, hey, self, I know you're not really doing .NET stuff at the moment, but you should probably look at WPF. And then when I came back to current time, I realized that I didn't take my own advice and wasn't really looking into WPF. So I was still lost. So anyway, the next thing that I did was I looked at some posts from 2005 or so that were talking, or 2010, that were talking about how do I customize title bars. There's this great WinUI 3 example that I had, but that one didn't work with, or I didn't understand how to add things like the Blazor Web View control when following that approach. So what I did instead for the current application, which works just fine. Oh, a couple things to point out with this real quick. For a WPF window, you get everything, including rounded corners. The resize grip area is pretty decent sized. So like when you're moving your mouse over to the edge, you have a fairly decent amount of space that you can get to and still be able to grab the edge to resize it. Same thing with top and bottom. And people are used to that. However, as soon as I add WindowChrome, which setting up WindowChrome is going to take a minute, but we're just going to add WindowChrome only, which is by doing WindowChrome.WindowChrome, and inside of that you put a WindowChrome, and you set things like corner radius equals 2, and what else do you set? I forgot everything. Caption height is important. So let's do caption height 34, which I think is pretty typical. Resize border thickness equals 8, which again, I think is pretty typical. Something about glass frame thickness that I never got to work. I'm going to put 10 for now, and then one other property that I can't remember what it was. Wait, there's a changed event on this thing? I didn't know there was a changed event. Glass frame thickness. Oh, it was the non-client edges as I got to it. And this one, I didn't fully understand what it does, other than it only allows you to add non-client area to 3 of the 4 edges. And in fact, when you use this property here, you can only add to 1 of the edges. which doesn't make sense because it's like in Visual Studio, it would be referring to this entire purple thin border. I'm pretty sure that that is a non-client edge, frame edge. And somehow they're targeting it and recoloring it based off of when Visual Studio has the focus and when it doesn't. And I want to do that. That's one thing. The other thing that happens is as soon as you add WindowChrome, number one, you lose all of your standard controls because you have to set everything up for the window yourself. And I won't be able to. Yes. Okay. Which means that I don't have a draggable area for title bar. I don't have resize handles around the edges of the window. And what you do still get, oh no, you don't even get the caption controls. And that's really weird though, because I told this thing that I wanted a caption height of 34, so it should still be there. It's just not displayed. Anyway, so let's add the title bar real quick, which takes a lot of effort. Like a lot of effort. And before, yeah, arrow transparency, which was Windows Vista, which I don't think is used anymore at all. That's kind of what I got from it. Gosh, I really, really, really don't like this part. How can I adapt what I did in the work project to this to make it easy? I don't know. It's not going to be easy. So instead, we're just going to write it out manually. I do all of this in a code behind file that extends window. So I'm essentially compiling the code in my head and running it and then showing the output. Okay, so the first thing that we have in here is our, oh yeah. Okay. We need to restore the functionality of the minimize, maximize, restore, and close buttons. So to do that, we use command bindings, and we can add those command bindings by doing something like no command. It's like window.command bindings. I think window.command bindings, WindowChrome.command bindings. Oh my gosh, I don't remember. Okay. Hey, Internet. WPF, WindowChrome, command bindings. Because you put a whole bunch of these individual command binding for all of them, but we need the command bindings wrapper thing. I don't know. Is this good enough? This might be good enough. And they're doing it in the code behind too. Whatever, I'll do it that way because I have that code. So in main window.xaml.cs, we're going to go initialize component. Actually, am I doing this before or after initialize component? I'm going to do it before because we might need to add to command bindings first and then initialize component. Okay, so to do that, var command bindings equals new array of command bindings with our for functionality minimize, maximize, restore, and close. New command binding for, let's start with close, system commands close, and we will tell that to use our close window command executed event that we haven't created yet. It's not going to be a property. It's going to be an event. Whatever. We'll create it in a second. And then our can execute command binding can execute. And I'll use the same approach or syntax that's currently in the whatever that's called in my work product. All right, so that I can create those real quick. Can I just copy pasta? I've been having trouble copying from that machine, but there it goes. I was able to. Suget. And then I F12 on this. Here's my title bar replaced functionality. Impasta. No. Copy. Pasta. Hey, it worked this time. Okay, so essentially we're just saying everything can execute all the time, no matter what. This is where you would put rules like if your close was supposed to be disabled, then set can execute equal to false when close is clicked. So that makes it so that the system provided, right, we're not there yet. So that the system provided control captions, which is the minimize, maximize, restore, and close, will function, will work. And what that should mean is that the area that has it should be clickable. Wait, oh, no, okay, it's not. So let's just go ahead and create the structure then. So we have our command bindings now. Our structure will now be, since we have to recreate the whole window ourselves, we will have an, actually, let me start from the bottom up. That would make more sense. Okay. The most recent thing that we add is a border. Border. And that border will have a whole bunch of properties on it. This is not an easy thing. Like what I would normally do is, hey, Barbarasso, what's this strange stream I fell upon? Mojo Fawad is saying, I have a here's a question for those that have to work on things for other departments. If you had an MVC web app that happened to have a blog element, what tools are available that will allow marketing to create blog posts without needing devs to update the repo? I'm on a phone call, so I can't hear anything right now. Cool. So if anyone does have any responses from Mojo Fawad, a blog app, MVC web app that has blogs, what tools are available to allow marketing to create blog posts without needing devs? That's what the blog element is for. Don't they just need a login? And run the web app and use the blog functionality there? Maybe. I mean, unless I'm reading something wrong about that. But hi, Barbarasso. I hope you have been well. Good to see you. Good to see you. And also good to see you. We're going to give this thing a background. For now, we'll just make it transparent. I've been sleeping all day, says Barbarosso, in a quarter thickness for the past 20 days. Good grief, that is a lot of sleeping. Did something happen that made you want to sleep for that long? Have you been in a downswing? Okay, this is going to be our parent container grid. Grid x colon name parent container. This is really hard to do ad hoc. I don't know what the word is. It's going to have grid column definitions with row definitions with a grid row with a row definition that is height auto and a second row that is height star. So this first row is going to be our title bar with the caption buttons and everything. The second row is going to be our main content. And so what we know now is this thing is going to be grid row 1 because our first, wait, what did I just move down to the bottom? Grid row definition. Why are you moving? Don't move. Okay. Hibernation, like a boss. Awesome. So you're going to be revved up and ready and stuff, energetic and limitless. That was an interesting movie. Grid row 0 is going to be a grid. I'm writing XAML. Why am I writing XAML? I hate XAML. I want to do this in code behind. It makes more sense. I don't know why XAML is just so bleh. I don't want it. No, I'll go back to sleep. Nice. Okay, so grid row 1 is our actual title bar. It's going to have 2 columns, so column definitions, which are going to be column. It's handed code. What does that mean? Like, I understand that it means that you were given this code, but like, is the app somewhere currently running? Is the MVC application currently running somewhere? Oh, yeah. Okay, so you needed to change something that is statically set in the application, and you were wondering what tools are available to do so. Visual Studio? One would hope. Text block, not text block. Wait, I could make this 3 columns. In fact, is it 3 columns? I forget. So I want 1 column for the potential icon, 1 column for the title, and then the last column for the caption buttons. That's main content grid. Title row content is a new grid. Oh, this grid needs a height. Height of 30. This is not CSS. Okay, enjoy. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see ya. Oh, that's what I did. Okay. or not what I did. That's the example that I followed. We got a stack grid, stack panel, who is orientation horizontal. And that is not the caption buttons, but nice try. We'll use those later, so you can stay. This is grid column 1. This is our caption buttons. But I don't even know if our caption buttons are in a stack panel or not. We'll get to that in a second. Orientation horizontal. Okay, so this is going to have a potential icon. CMS. Yeah, so like the approaches that I've taken for content that can be administered is just having a database or something on the server directly, like a file system if you want to set it up that way, or a config file, as long as that content is pretty, the structure of the content is pretty static. You can just use a JSON file that's saved to the same directory as the running application. But then you have an administrative UI essentially for maintaining those links. So if it's a whole bunch of URLs that need to be maintained, then, or updated, I guess, then they can do that from the web app, from the administrative panel, make the change for the URL, save, which saves to the file, and then every time the page is rendered, it reads from the file, or however you want to set that up. Um, Yeah, you're not supposed to have an admin panel. Okay, so that removes that option. You could have that file. Oh, not opposed to. I can read. I can read. Look, I just graduated 3rd grade yesterday. Give me some slack. Cut me some slack. I even know words. I'm good with words. What do we got? We have a title panel, which is a stack panel. We want vertical alignment center. Is that a thing that we can set on here? We can. And then we have an icon, which is an image source equals, I don't know, I don't think I have an app icon currently. Images slash, I don't know where I can get one. Oh, yes, I do. Favicon. We'll just use favicon. And is there anything special that I need to do with the image that I'm using as the icon? Images, icon, F4. Just need to have it be a resource. F4, resource, and we're good to go. Okay, so resource should be images slash fave icon ICO. 4th grade is easier, don't worry. Yeah, it gets easier as you progress. It gets more dumbed down. Wait, what? We'll give it a width of 18 and a margin of 6040. I really have no idea what I'm doing, by the way, guys. Like I said, I'm transferring the code, the C# version of all of this XAML that I'm writing, turning that into XAML. But yeah, next thing that we need up here is a text block. Oh, right. This thing will eventually have a button handler because currently when you have a title bar and you have an icon on the left, you can left click on the icon to get the context menu. And you can also right click anywhere in the title bar to get the context menu. But I would want to restore the functionality of being able to left click to get the context menu as well. But anyway, text block, text equals app title, which what I've done before is I've bound this to a dynamic resource called app title so that I could set it at runtime app title. But for now, we're just going to hard code it as the word app title. And is there anything special about this text block? Do I give you a height? I give you a margin. Margin. I don't know how to do this. Margin is 4300. No idea why, but it is. And it's going to have a vertical alignment as well, up center. So that, now that I'm typing all this out, it really isn't that scary, I guess. It feels like I'm writing HTML, but with, actually, it feels like I'm just putting a whole bunch of Blazor components in here. That's really what it feels like. I don't like it. So I'm going to keep resisting because I don't like it. Okay, here are our restored caption buttons, which we already have this stack panel created to hold them. The other thing the stack panel needs is a vertical alignment of center as well. Shut up, phone. Nobody asked you. Jeez. I told you we weren't going to get to the actual issue because I'm too busy recreating the window. And we're 3 minutes away from ending. But we will do this because the thing that I want to show, which maybe we'll be able to show now, actually, is that as soon did it. Oh, right. We don't have any actual handlers for this. Go away buttons. I didn't create you. As soon as we change the application to use WindowChrome and we have a Blazor Web View control on the main content area of the page, the whole part, I can drag now, where we had that nice wide area for resize handles, like up here at the top. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a difference, but like if you were moving your mouse fast and you're trying to target the resize area, you could hit it on maybe your first or second try. But now the edges have like a 1 or 2 pixel hitbox essentially. And so it's super tiny. It makes it really hard to resize. You have to be pixel perfect with your mouse. And so what I found out is the main content is actually covering a lot of the resize handle area. So for example, if I made this grid have a margin of, I think it starts on the left. So a margin of 5055. So left, top, right, bottom, I think. Which it's not there. You were supposed to hot reload, man. Then I have a decent area that I can hover the mouse over to get the this thing. But that just makes the app look like it has this really thick border, and modern apps currently have a border or don't have a border really. It just goes all the way to the edge aside from that small little client area that or non-client area that I talked about earlier. So I would like to find a way, and we'll probably do this in Friday's stream because I'm not actively working on this, but I'd like to find a way to have the application go to the main content go all the way to the edge of the window, the way that we had it before, and have a pretty decent sized resize grip area. So we're going to pick up on that on Friday. Just so you know, Friday on our stream is Community Day. So that means that I invite people into our Discord voice channel, and your voice will come over through the stream. We'll have a conversation about whatever you feel like talking about, preferably something programming related, software related, .NET related. But if we don't have very much conversation, then we start getting more loose with the conversations. But yeah. Also, if you do have anything that you want to talk about in either this Friday stream or any future Friday stream, or Community Day stream, then let me know ahead of time. And I can have some material prepared to talk with you about, or just come and start talking. Especially if you have a project that's pretty fun and interesting. That's cool stuff. But other than that, I will be posting this video, as I mentioned earlier, to YouTube sometime 24 hours after I end the stream. And finally, I will be back again on... Oh yeah, you can see this project that we're currently working on GitHub. But I will be back again on Friday, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. For now, I could have been doing this the whole time. We're going to raid Finite, because he's such a cool guy. He has a lot of fun stuff to interact with on his stream. But he is predominantly working in a JavaScript framework, a Python framework, Python, I believe. But he has been doing, Rust to Python. He's doing this camera thing so that he can stream while he is skiing, and we can see where he's going. Or he already did that. Whoa, that's crazy. Anyway, so we're going to head over to his stream where he is showing off videos from the actual event where he was skiing with his camera. Craziness. Okay. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all for being here, for hanging out with me. I will talk with you on the laters. I have no idea how much time is left in this song, but I usually end up starting to close when there's only a couple seconds left. Whatever. It'll fade itself out. Ciao.